my name is Ann McCallum Staats, and I'm the author of 9 books, 9 children's books now. And my latest book is Thrill Seekers, 15 Remarkable Women in Extreme Sports. Well, so whenever I start writing a new book, I always start with some kernel of an idea. And in this case, I had actually been visiting my brother and sister-in-law who live in Vancouver, Canada. And my brother was talking about Elladee Brown. And Elladee Brown is this amazing woman who was second in the world at one point in mountain biking, just a really down-to-earth, excellent human being. And I got a chance to meet her, and I started thinking, oh my goodness, this is really cool, this whole realm of kind of these, adventure sports. And then I kind of put things aside. And then I also learned actually through my sister-in-law, she was talking to me about this underwater hockey player. And I was like, wow, underwater hockey playing. I've never even heard of the sport. And there's apparently, women's teams all over the world. There's one in Canada, which is where I was visiting. And it really, these things really sparked my interest. And I thought, this is a whole new realm of a world that I've never really explored. And so that kind of got me started. And once I got started, I found all of these amazing people. That's kind of the beauty of these books, is I get to meet these just amazing people. And then I just fell in love, and then it was no stopping me. So why do these women do what they do? Well, that was really my big question too, because whenever people talk about extreme sports, adventure athletes, they always think about the danger, the risks. So why would somebody jump out of an airplane? In fact, Melanie Curtis, before she did jump that first time, she said, why would I jump out of a perfectly safe airplane? And so that was kind of my question. And I think that in every case, it's freeing, it's pushing yourself beyond your comfort zone. And when you do that, you grow as a person. Suddenly kind of your blinders have come off, and you get to try something that you never thought you could. It's hugely empowering. It's fun, it's out of the ordinary, and it's making a life extraordinary rather than, just ho-hum. And I think that's what I really, admired and appreciated from all of these women, just their willingness to try something so new and so different, and then fall in love with it.
Hi, thrill seekers, future sky sisters. My name is Melanie Curtis, and what makes me passionate about skydiving is so many things. The physical act of flying is an embodiment of freedom. It's incredibly fun, which sounds kind of almost silly, but it's freedom, it's fun. And then the other thing that makes me so passionate about skydiving is the community of truly wonderful people. It feels like truly a sea of misfit toys that have come together in a culture of acceptance and inclusivity and care for one another, and this thing that we share a deep love for, the sky and our sky family.
People often ask me why I'm interested in cave diving. For me, as an artist, this gives me a chance to extend the hands and eyes of scientists that I collaborate with. Caves are virtually museums of natural history. We can learn about Earth's past climate. We can find the remains of ancient civilizations that have used these places as portals to an underworld. We can study unique biology that's found nowhere else but in singular caves around the planet. Life that lives without ever seeing the bright sunlight of a beautiful day. Caves can also be an incredible place to be a test pilot. So we test and develop survey equipment, life support equipment, lots of other scientific gear that could be used in other applications, such as going to space. So there are a lot of aeronautical companies that use caves as very remote, difficult, challenging environments to test equipment that may one day survey the liquid oceans beneath the frozen surface of Jupiter's moon, Europa. So caves give us lots of opportunities for scientific discovery, exploration, and solving scientific mysteries.
What makes me passionate about scuba diving is that I can't live without it. It is one of those things I would give up my favorite food, I would sell my car, I would do whatever it takes to be able to fit a dive in. And it helps satisfy my curiosity. I've been curious since I was a little girl. And I remember even jumping into the pool, into the 12 feet, throwing in coins to be able to fetch them out and seeing the drain at the bottom of the pool and wondering what was beyond the drain. Obviously, it wasn't the ocean, but I just remember thinking, what's deeper than that? And now when I go down into the ocean, I see something new every day. I learn something new every time, and it satisfies my curiosity. So I can't imagine not doing it.
You know, in many respects, these fields are not populated by many women. And a lot of times, you know, it's only been men, and women have been intimidated, frankly. And so I think it's really important to show young people, boys and girls, that, you know, no matter your gender, you can still do these incredible, amazing things. You know, and statistics are changing, which is really encouraging. And I think that the more women who participate, you know, the more it becomes sort of mainstream, and you know, the more we share the diversity of, you know, of the sports, of the people who are participating in the sports, I think that, you know, helps everybody, because it empowers everybody. If we talk about Sarah Mudallah, she wears the hijab, and she's a Muslim parkour athlete. And I think for her, she, you know, parkour is kind of this cutting edge. To me, it was kind of a new sport. I'd never even heard of it before. And what it is you navigate through usually an urban environment as smoothly as possible. And so you do that by doing flips and turns and jumps and that sort of thing. And so Sarah not only was female in this particular sport, but she was also a minority in that she, you know, wears hijab. And she was actually an American Ninja Warrior, the TV show. And again, like for all of those, you know, thousands or millions of people who watch TV like that, or read this book or whatever, it gives them some sense that, you know, we can all do these amazing things. We can all do these incredible things. And so I think it's very important to look at the diversity of, you know, of the people that I wrote about and of the sports themselves. It's Neha Sharma, who is this beautiful Indian woman, and is a professional race car driver. She drives a Formula car. And not only that, but she's also an airline pilot. And so just this amazingly accomplished woman. So I, of course, the time difference, trying to get a hold of somebody in India, it was a little crazy, and we, had some back and forths, and, the quality of, well, thank goodness for technology these days, but also the quality of the conversations at some point would kind of drop off. And so we'd have to try again. It was just kind of this glimpse into this world. Other ones like, Melanie Curtis, who's a professional skydiver, and an Iditarod sled dog racer, Kristen Knight Page, all of these people just doing such diverse and interesting things. I just, it was just a pleasure to get to know them and to interview them and really hear what their paths were. Kind of one similar thing between all of them is that they started off with these humble roots. Like they really, none of them were like automatically these amazing athletes or automatically these, incredible popular people or whatever. They had to build themselves up, and that's kind of the piece that really had me stick with this project. Well, the first one was scuba diving, and this was something that was sort of on my bucket list, but it was also kind of scary to me because, I don't know about others, but I grew up with Jaws. And so I was always like a little timid about, swimming in the ocean. And, but anyway, when I went to the scuba lesson, and it was just like a one-time scuba lesson, they start you off in a swimming pool. And honestly, the scariest thing was sitting in the bottom of this pool with maybe like a foot or two of water above me and just breathing in from the oxygen tank rather than drowning. And it was just such a foreign feeling that it took a while to get used to. And, that's why the dive master really took some time to let me get acclimated to that. But anyway, once I did that and I felt comfortable enough, then we went off into the ocean. And I'm telling you, it was the coolest thing. It was so freeing and so amazing. It's this whole new alien world. We saw a stingray while we were down there, and this huge, beautiful creature on the bottom of the ocean. And he just winged his way up. So he was on the bottom of the ocean, and then suddenly he just winged away, and you could just see him go into the depths. And it was really a mind-opening experience. But then I decided, well, what else can I do really to get the sense of why these women are doing these incredible things? So I also went on a ride along at a racetrack. So I went into a Formula style car. So there are those, really fancy race cars. Now, in normal cases, a Formula car only has one seat. This had two seats, so it was, for tourists or whatever. But I'm telling you, we went into the. I sat in the car. They strapped me in. We were towed out to the main racetrack. And then all of a sudden it felt like the driver just punched it. And we were just whizzing along the track, and there was the smell and the sounds, and, there was it was just intense. But I loved it. And I could see like Sneha, this is why she's so addicted and obsessed with this beautiful experience. So that was that. The last experience I tried was going tandem skydiving. And again, I loved every moment of it. It was just, from the beginning when they suit you up, and then you meet your, the person who's going to be jumping with you. You cram into this little plane. You just, you go up into the air. we were actually the last ones out. And so we had like a couple extra seconds or so. And you know, my tandem partner, he was like, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And there I am perched on the side of this open window of this tiny little plane. Just, you know, the wind is whipping, and then we dropped. And at first you're just, you know, you're just dropping, and there's just wind rushing. And then all of a sudden he pulls the cord for the parachute, and there's not really even much of a transition. Like, it wasn't jarring or jerking or anything like that. But all of a sudden you're just peacefully floating in this beautiful air. And so that part was really super cool. Now, the only part that I was a little bit scared for about 3 seconds was when he undid the straps on my shoulders and also on my legs, because we were tightly, you know, hooked together. And so I said, you know, don't loosen those too much. And so then he was, you know, he kind of laughed at that. And but then yeah, it was just an amazing, beautiful experience. So Roberto Mancino is actually a wingsuit flyer, and she and Melanie Curtis were the ones who inspired me to try doing this myself. And one thing that Roberta has said over and over that kind of resonated with me is, she said that, you know, I feel safe up there. I feel free up there. And I got that, you know, I did feel safe and I did feel free. And it was like, you know, a bird's eye view of the world that you really don't get. Your cares are gone. You're not worrying about anything besides just breathing in this pure air up in the sky.
My advice to you, if you feel fear, is that that's a good thing. I mean, I'm scared every time I go diving. It's important to be scared because it means that you understand that you're taking a choice that might be a little bit risky, and it means that you care about the outcome. So embrace it. Step towards that fear. Step into the darkness carefully a little bit and let your eyes adjust to the light, because it's in that space, in that fear or sort of, you know, funny feeling in the pit of your stomach, that you have an opportunity to be an explorer too. You're standing on the threshold of discovery, something that's new for you, or maybe even new for humanity. So go for it.
I would say just do it. I would say don't stop when it comes to trying something new. You have to go out and be brave enough to try it the first time, because if you don't, you never know if you were brave enough to try it in the first place. And if you do, and it was too hard, or it scared you too much, or you just didn't enjoy it, then don't do it and try something else. There's no reason not to try, because if you do, and you face your fears and you end up falling in love with something and becoming passionate about it, you'll be so thankful that you did it. But if you're sitting on the couch waiting for bravery to come find you and take you somewhere, it's not going to happen. So you just have to go for it.
I think it's very natural to feel fearful, and you know, and that's what I tell, you know, my students. I'm actually a former high school teacher as well. And, you know, I say it's okay to be afraid to do anything, you know, whether it's cooking a new meal or putting up your hand in biology class, or, you know, deciding to run in a 5K race. I mean, big or small, we all experience these fears. And I think just acknowledging it and knowing that, you know, wow, this is like a new experience. And, you know, obviously I'm going to feel a little bit fearful. Now, one of the other things that, you know, happened too is I thought back to the women in the book, and there's one woman, Faith Dickey, who's a highliner, which means that she walks along this kind of stretchy webbing that's about an inch or two wide. And, you know, most of the time she'll wear a tether, but she's actually gone along this high line. I think she told me about 30 times with no tether. And she said that it's incredibly empowering to know that you're afraid, but to do something anyway. And so I just kind of was inspired by them. And I think that's what, allowed me to push through. For example, my fear of not being able to breathe. I just looked at the dive master and I was like, well, it's going to be okay, and I'm just going to try this. It's going to be okay. So, inspiration from others and then just knowing that it's a natural, normal feeling. I think those are the two key things for me.
Skydiving has opened doors for me that would otherwise never have opened in both my personal life and my professional life. Because I have skydiving skills, I've been able to jump over the Great Pyramids, the Palm in Dubai, over, into stadiums and racetracks and doing all kinds of things that continue to have me really open my mind and think about what is possible beyond what I've currently experienced in my life and in my work. So I hope this helps, and I appreciate you all, and go follow your own callings. So it doesn't have to be jumping out of an airplane. If it is, give me a call, let me know. And if it's something else, trust that, follow that. I'll see you soon.
So now I'm going to give everyone a challenge. It's not going to be a huge challenge, but it is going to be extraordinary. So the challenge is to try something new. It sounds very simple, and it can be very simple. It can be something like, wearing something different, or cooking something new, or going to a place that riding on a subway or a metro that, to a place you've never been to. It could be anything, but just to try something new, because I think that's how we grow as people and how we, connect to the world. So the challenge is to simply pick something and try something new. Once you've tried your new thing, whatever it is, we invite you to post what it was in the comments, share what you did, share your feelings, share whatever experience you had. We would love to see what people out there have tried for themselves. Oh my gosh, I think life is just so full of opportunity. I always liken myself, when I was talking to some of these adventure athletes, I said, you were an expert dog sledder, or you're an expert cave diver, or, whatever it is. And to me, like, I'm a writer, and I consider that my passion. And am I afraid sometimes to write? Absolutely. I'll have this blank page in front of me, and sometimes, a lot of times I sell books on proposal. So I'll have these, whiz bang proposals, and, suddenly I'll get the contract and I'll be like, yikes, now I have to actually write the book. Like, how on earth am I going to do that? That's scary. And so, I kind of liken, in a way, my passion, which is writing children's books, to, what these women are doing in their extreme sports. Because to me, this is my, this is what I love to do. And it's hard, it's challenging. Sometimes, I feel like knocking my head against the wall, but, but it's ultimately super rewarding. And it brings me to new realms, meeting these incredible people, who I never would meet, under normal circumstances, because we just don't necessarily walk in the same circles. So yeah, to me, whatever your passion is, and big or small, everything has an element of risk. Everything has an element of fear. Everything has an element of incredible reward. That's kind of what I want to do. I want to keep writing. I want to keep experiencing the world. I want to do a little traveling. I want to meet more people, people outside my comfort zone. And, I'm not necessarily that outgoing. So like, even to put myself out there to talk to people, even that is, that's an incredible step, I think. So again, my name is Ann McCallum Staats, and this is my book, Thrill Seekers, 15 Remarkable Women in Extreme Sports. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you go out there, find your passion, try something new, and please, again, do comment and let us know what you're up to. We would love to hear what happens.